Deep under the clays of the dry flats, our dwarves have built themselves a new home. Finally, after almost a year of excavation and work, they have managed to produce their first bar of soap. However, one bar of soap isn't enough to keep an entire empire clean. No. The dwarves are going to have to scale up their production, and for that, they're going to have to empty out an entire area currently flooded with underground water. It's time for our dwarves to produce soap for the Empire. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Dwarf Fortress and these short forts. This is planned to be the last episode of our soap makers, video series. And as I mentioned in the intro, my goal today is to kind of empty out this cavern layer so we have access to more mushrooms. More mushrooms mean more wood, and more wood means more ash so that we can make soap. The secondary goal here today will be to get rock nuts, or at the very least some method to be able to make the other part of soap making that we need. So if we go and click on a task, you see we can make it from oil. That was the initial plan, was to use rock nuts. So we're gonna have to figure out what went wrong in that production. And otherwise, make soap from tallow. We could do it using some of our animals over here, though the only animal that I know spreads really quickly are cats, and I believe these ones have been fixed. They cannot have new offspring, new kittens, and I just, even if this is a video game, I don't feel the best about mass slaughtering cats. Also, I'm currently recording this during my Christmas vacation, and people are getting preparations for a party set up, so if there is noise in the background, I'm very sorry, but that's where that is coming from. All right, without any further ado, let's just take a look at where we left off last episode. So there is currently a little bit of water here in the stairs. If we scroll back up, there's no water here. If we scroll back a little bit more, this is most likely where the water is coming from. So what I'm thinking is that what happened here, I have if I click on the mining pick, it's going to say everything is damp. That's because there is currently water. However, when I was carving this out, I was making sure to smooth out any wall and floor that was in contact with damp water. So what I think is happening is it's actually coming from above, because this is straight in the aquifer level at elevation 45. It's not the end of the world. So I'm also a little damp smooth. See, this is also damp. It's probably also coming down from here. Ideally, I would have locked this up, but as you see, there's already 3 of 7 water in here. It was making a mess, and I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. I don't think that the ceiling here is going to be enough to completely flood out this giant area here once we've drained it out, but we'll have to see. So that is definitely something we're doing this episode, attempting to pump the water out from this area into this area over here. It has been blocked up with our plugs that came at an unfortunate cost of 1 dwarf last episode, as we can see over here. I'm also not 100% sure if we're going to have to plug this area. I believe we may, and that is, oh, I just realized we still have some of this set up. Let's just make sure that that's not there anymore. It shouldn't be an issue, but once we do drain this out, like if the dwarves get caught in that, you start digging, it might cause issues. So I think we will have to actually plug this up. I have a feeling that the water pressure alone will push its way back up here once we start draining out. So maybe that is actually the first thing we should take a look at. I say that now. I was originally going to plug up here because it would be outside of the area of where we're currently building for the soap making. However, I just realized that there is unexplored caverns over here and down here as well. So it's likely that I won't be able to drain all this out, and the best place to plug would actually be here for what we're doing anyway. Yeah, so that would empty out this entire area. The issue with that is to make the plugs as we've been doing it so far. I would have to drop a plug here, somewhere here, and probably here as well. The advantage to that is we would eventually have access to this poor dwarf's mangled skeleton. The disadvantage to that is right above that is actually the fort. It is one deep, so I'm not sure if a floor would be enough to plug it. I don't believe it is. So I may actually have to use this section, which means I'd have to do something here. And I don't think that's viable. What else could we do? We can use this rock. Oh, and that's actually too deep. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is the main issue then. This would be right here. I suppose we could drop this down? That's actually possible, and then we could fix the floor afterwards. So with this little block here, coming from right above here, we would only have to worry about this section here. Potentially this section here. What's above this? Ooh, okay. We've got some flooring, and we've got actual things that cannot be blocking that. We could do something a little wonky. So if I block this here with 2 blocks, I block this here with 2 blocks, all we'd have to worry about is this section here, which would be here. Okay, I think we have a plan. Right now, because of all the splashing, there is actually too much water here, as we saw last episode. We had to block off this wall. The water's currently draining over here. It shouldn't be a problem. It should go to the edge of the map somewhere. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Either way, it shouldn't be our problem for too long. So while that's draining out, we can look at fixing up our area over here. So let's start out with this plug right here. Okay. Let's go up 1 and just kind of mark this so that we know. These are the 2 we need, correct? Correct. All right. Good. We are going to have to destroy some floor, I believe, to be able to get this done. Oh, this really makes me a little uncomfortable because it is straight in the fort, and it isn't like a major artery where a lot of dwarves pass, but I think it'll be fine. Okay, I'm going to go back to the jump cuts that we were doing last session. Hopefully I can keep it much shorter than last session. I like to try to keep these videos around half an hour. So let's just jump cut to when I've prepared this section of wall to fall down and block this. And we'll be right back. And we are momentarily back. I just want to point out what just happened here. As we were clearing out this bottom section to be able to have this center section kind of dangling, for some reason the entire bottom section just disappeared. I had set them up with a channel, but for some reason that wasn't enough, I guess, and it just fell through. So what we are going... Oh, and water has accumulated there. I hadn't realized. Okay. Ooh. So it seems that water has pushed its way up here, and I no longer have the ability to take that section off. I'm going to see upward slope. I see. I thought it let go, but no, the water pushed its way up. Okay, so let's go back up to the top here. We're just going to take this little bit off, and it should It should just fall. Hopefully? No. Ah, that's what I was afraid of. So all these slopes are indeed holding that up, and that means that this plan is a failure. We cannot move forward with this because the currently let's just take this off. The current slopes that are holding this block in place are actually keeping it from falling, so we will not be able to plug this up. That is an issue. Okay, so let's at the very least start off by making this a little safer for my dwarves. As mentioned before, I was feeling uncomfortable about this plan to start with because it's using up like a pathway that they use a lot. So let's just place this here, add some flooring here, and then we'll take a second look at being able to block off the water. Okay, this is unfortunate. Let's let the dwarves do their job here. While they're doing that, let's take a look. They currently have enough drinks, it seems. Someone's brewing plants, very good. Their needs seem to be taken care of. Let's also build our last claystone wall here. Just plug this area up. There we go. And they should be getting the last one soon, and there it is. I'll also be able to view my stockpile and just regrow this over here. That should be fine. They may move some rocks there, but that should be fine. Akia has stolen an unglazed earthen jug. Okay. Wonderful. This is why we moved all our animals down here. Okay. So, this plan of blocking this little area up is a dud for now. So we're going to have to make a bigger plug. It looks like everything here ends here, but I would need an immense plug. And a level above it, actually, there is some room here for water to get through. Though I may be able to get away by using these trees to plug that up. That's not a bad idea. Otherwise, I could also plug here, and make another plug here. It's going to take some while. It's going to take a little while. So I'm just going to jump cut until either something interesting happens or until we have our new plug set up, hopefully without this disastrous result here. So let's just remember, if there is open space water at this level, it is going to push its way up, which answers our previous questions about here. We do need that plugged up. Okay, let's move on. And we are back once again. Okay, so this entire area here has been cut out. If we go up, there's another level. I actually made a bit of a mistake, I believe, so I added another claystone block pillar right here in the hopes that it's going to work just like the rough-hewn claystone walls. We shall soon find out. And our miner is right here, ready to drop our block. So with that, and this area behind carved out, I'm going to have her mine this last little bit, holding the rest of the stone in place. And unfortunately, this cave spider may take a tumble, but it should be working. Okay, so let's go. Ooh, it has come down. She seems perfectly fine, healthy. She has not been injured in any way. A section has collapsed, that's fine. That's not important for now, and a section has collapsed. Okay, so it has gone down as we wanted. So if we go back down 1, 2, 3, we now have a section of wall here. However, I am now realizing that we have a slight issue. When we were making the slopes for this wall, we actually cut out part of this wall, and now there is water going around. Okay, I'm going to keep that in mind for the next plugs and fix that right now. So see you in a bit. And some unfortunate news. I was under the impression that a diagonal block would actually hold a center block in place, so I left this one here, and as my miner was clearing out this area here for the block, or this one here. Okay, I'm losing. Anyway, as she was clearing out one of these, the water actually pushed her back and into the water here. there is little to no chance that we will be able to recover her. This is 2 to 3. Oh, actually, there is a chance. There is a chance. Okay, let's... She's probably unconscious right now. Oh, let's see how she's doing. Injured. Okay. So, if we have her dig... potentially straight out, I want to attempt to dig like this. Can I get her to do that? It doesn't seem like it. Let's see. This is a ramp going up. That's actually what we want. Okay. Let us go here. We need to move quickly for this. Have her dig that. There we go. She has a ramp up now, and we should be able to just go ahead and have her dig this, perhaps? Is that a thing? Yes. Yes. She went down and now is going back up. There we go. Okay. We have saved... Oh my gosh. Who is this again? Who is this amazing dwarf? This is Ravod. We have saved Ravod. She is injured. So what I'm going to do, actually, is go back down to our fort layer. And I'm going to just make a little indent in here really quickly. Just as such. Accept. And we're going to make a new dormitory. I know this is a bit strange, but the hope is that... oh, can it not be 1 by 1? What about 2? No. Alright. The hope is that I can make this into a hospital for our dwarf. Let's see. Maybe if I open this up like this. Okay, accept. And now if I go to dormitory and just select this, what's happening? I'm a bit slow. I was so excited. Yes. So I had the delete still on. Let's just paint this over like this, and this we are going to make as a hospital. And just see if she makes her way to the hospital. If not, maybe she's okay. Maybe she doesn't need to rest. Oh, she is. Okay. Unconscious, injured. And if we go into health, no health problems. Interesting. Wounds, no evaluated wounds. Let's see if we can get ourselves some sort of chief medical dwarf just for the moment. Chief medical dwarf. Yes, there's a novice diagnostician. That's harder to say than I thought. Who we're going to use this stonecrafter here as our chief medical dwarf. I've never actually gotten it to work properly, so our stoneworker here is set to no job. Okay, but you are the chief diagnosticianer, or however it's pronounced. So we're going to go up to labors. I'm going to add a new work detail. I have a feeling healthcare. Yeah, let's have someone on healthcare, and we're going to call this doctor, perhaps. Here we go. And we're going to make our stoneworker, I believe it was. Let me double check here real quick. So nobles administration. Yeah, it's Ubal. Who is it? No, that okay. So chief medical dwarf. He is actually our planter. Okay, well for today, Mr. Planter, you will actually be doing this as well. It's a bit strange, but it should be fine. So now if we select him, where is he? Medical dwarf, no job. He is staying there. We do have him set to do all the doctoring stuff, so maybe she doesn't currently need a doctor? I have never quite understood how medicine works in dwarven culture. So there's no wounds evaluated, but our diagnostician or whatever you call it isn't going to see her. He's over here, I believe. Ubal, yeah. Our chief medical dwarf is currently tending the fields, which is important in its own right. We're just going to give it a few seconds. Is he coming back to see her now? Let's see. No, he's gone to bed. Okay, so maybe she doesn't have you know, injuries that are as bad as I'm thinking. Um, she was able to continue working after all. Okay, let's take a look at our main goal here. If we go down, we have now plugged this in. Very good. Now, I had been hoping, or planning at least, to go through this quite quickly and have it off camera. I'm going to try it once more and make this plug and hopefully have it work the first time. It is all we really need. Oh, down on this level, it's actually full. So all we really need is this here. I'm going to go ahead and just mark that somehow for myself. So it's those two, yeah, these two blocks here that we need. Okay, let's go up, 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 up. Here's a question. Do we actually need natural stone? I believe the answer to that was no. So while our dwarven medic, miner, that is being seen by possibly a medic, is resting, I'm going to make a artificial block made with our claystone blocks and drop that and see if that works. That might be exactly what we need. All right, see you in a bit. We are back with some more bad news, it seems. I was just making this plug up here to drop onto this area here and plug this up, but it seems like it, first off, didn't work, and second off, our poor Ravod is now stuck in the water, and I don't think she'll be able to make it out. This is quite deep water, and yeah, there's nothing that can really... I can try one last ditched effort. Maybe have her dig up here? No, she's going in the wrong direction. She's not a swimmer either, is she? She is drowning, and she has passed away. Moment of silence for Ravod. There's some more bad news, it seems, because as this was all happening, we have another dwarf over here, Stukos, that's got attacked by some sort of giant olm creature they were fighting on the ledge somewhere here, and she fell into the water. I thought she might be able to save herself, but as with Ravod, she kind of went in the wrong direction and has also passed away. So that brings our number of total lost dwarves on our expedition, not to 1, not to 2 with Ravod, but to 3. 3 lost dwarves out of 11 dwarves that have joined us so far. Okay, we need to find a better way of dropping things in different spaces than we have been so far, and I have an idea. So if we go over to mechanisms, let's see is there anything I can use in this. Horizontal axis, lever, well, floodgate, screw pump, water wheel, windmill, gear assembly, roller, millstone. Perhaps some sort of trap? Rope chain, traps? Stonefall trap. Ah, that looks promising. Stonefall traps drop a stone on intruders, must be loaded with boulders. Okay. The idea is if I have some way of like pulling a lever instead of having them dig, that might make it so that they aren't so likely to fall into water. So if I was to make a stonefall trap here, click a tile to place a stonefall trap. I don't think that's quite what we want though. I remember seeing someone using something called a pillar. I don't know if that's a modded feature or screw pump. Gear assembly, vertical axis. Vertical axis transforms power between 2 adjacent elevations. It's not quite what we want. We do need some way to block this off though. And I'm running out of stone above this. I suppose we could make our stone blocks 2 levels deep and see if that perhaps blocks this up. Otherwise, if we actually need natural stone to make plugs, that could be a problem. Okay, I was hoping that this would be the final episode in our little series, but we have done very, very little this episode other than lose dwarves to olms and to the same issue we had previously. This is very frustrating, but it is part of Dwarf Fortress. Let's see, so what happened here again? What was the reason why we hadn't dropped this? Oh, yes, because the water went up. That's right. Okay. So this is where we're going to leave it off for today. An unfortunately frustrating end. I may do one last episode as a little bit more of a montage just to kind of get some closure on this fort and maybe not a full episode, maybe like that, a little montage to show me attempting to fix our problem. If I do, I will set up the pumps over here just to get some closure, but I think this may very well be the end of our little expedition here in attempting to make soap. We have actually made some soap. We could, hypothetically, with enough rock nuts, make some more soap. We have everything set up for it. It was just the expansion that we were hoping to get that we're not going to get at any point in the near future, it seems. So with this, I'm going to call it here today. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the little montage. Goodbye. And we are back. As I was mentioning before, we were going to do a little montage of me succeeding in making all those plugs and figuring things out. As you can probably guess, we've been attacked by troglodytes. They somehow found their way in, and we currently still have these little messages popping up. They're just kind of doing hit and run tactics right now and slowly messing up with my dwarves. Also, I'm now aware that we don't actually have any more pickaxes, as all the dwarves with the pickaxes have now drowned. So unfortunately, we're going to have to call this expedition a failure. The dwarves will have to pick up and move elsewhere, and perhaps try to make soap again, or perhaps not. We'll have to see. But for now, I'm going to call this here. So thank you for joining me, and goodbye.